Hey folks, welcome back to Breath of Fire 3. I'm the Mysterious JG. We just defeated the goddess Myria. Quick check of game facts says that if you steal from her successfully, you get Napalm, which is an attack item. Not worth it. But now it's time for the ending. This is going to be the last video unless I decide to go defeat those two palette swap super bosses. So this is going to be the end of the story, folks. Let's see how it ends. With Gar saying, "It's over. No. For you, it's just the beginning." And then he transforms into a super boss and I fight him. It was a long, hard journey. But your journey is over. But we did the right thing, didn't we, Avatar? I don't know, I was waiting for you to tell me. Sorry, folks. Gar! Oh no. He's like a creature of the goddess Myria, I guess. As a guardian, my life must end. I could have lived if you'd just given up your power, but no. Here with the goddesses. This is time to die. Go. From now on, you must walk on your own. This is your world now. And he fades into fireflies. Dude, he really was Orin. Oh shit! Oh shit! My world! I tried, but it wasn't enough. I fear the world will be destroyed again. By my sun death heaven, what should I have done? What could I have done? Should I have gone for that Holocaust spell? If there is a god, answer me! Hey, you're supposed to be a goddess. Is Dice gonna show up? What should I have done with the brood? There we go. Sister! It's for the best, Myria. To give her a different voice. You've protected this world until now. Oh, it's nice that Myria isn't alone. Myria a lot more sympathetic in this game than in previous Breath of Fire game. I almost said games, but no, she was in the original Breath of Fire. This would be her second appearance. She is referenced in 3, or 2. Well, anyway, I'm glad I came down here. You went too far in your attempt to wipe out the brood. It can turn out she triggered the Desert of Death. In the end, that was something your children had to overcome to go beyond, in order to walk on their own. Oh, it's gonna be like, Mama's gonna make all of your nightmares come true. She won't let anyone dirty get through. A little help here, Pico? No? Okay. Over here, mates! This way to Space Australia! Don't worry. They can take care of themselves better than you think. They and the world are stronger than we think. I'm sure of it. And Myria and Dice go together into hell. I don't know. Their space station blew up. Are they getting launched into orbit? Press the down button again. Maybe this thing can go faster. Avatar was trying to use a force push to protect them. It's too bad that happened to Gar. I guess I don't know what he would have done in the world after all this, but huh. Well, there's something you don't see every day, Chauncey. What's that, Edgar? Oh, it's just a sword. I was like thinking it's like a tower shaped like a sword or something. So, game's got a lot of explaining to do, but yeah, not expecting a whole lot more explanation than we've already had. Nice fully animated avatar there. Hey, Nina, looking good. I did not know Nina was supposed to be that scantily clad. I mean, I suppose I should have known that, but like the idea that she's like wearing a corset or some crap. She's Lulu. She looks a little bit more like a natural human being from that angle, which is odd considering the wings are now emphasized. At least she doesn't appear to be wearing high-heeled boots. Are we going to get to see any of the other characters here? This is a cute little ending with them walking. If it weren't for the fact that Nina's right there beside him, the Avatar would be like, throw his sword up in the air, it lands behind him. Do 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 do. Oh, the friends are together, and Pico is nowhere, I guess. Well, that was a nice... Oh. Is that it? Is that all we get? Makoto Ikahara, which is Makoto Aihara's cousin. So there we go, totally J-pop credits. I never figured anyone from America would bother to get all the way through the game. Or if they did, they would be somebody who would be totally into J-pop credits. Junko Nanda. Okay, so let's recap the story of the game. Is a little dragon boy wakes up and is taken in by some people that he doesn't realize are another little dragon boy. Excuse me, and a young man who is a were-tiger. Even though actually the fact that Ray is a were-tiger, he's the only tiger person we meet in the entire game. It's just not that stunning when he turns into a, I don't know, he turns into a were-tiger. Anyway, so they wander around together. Scenario and event designer is also our main producer person, so that's cool. So yeah, they go around, they have some adventures, they steal stuff. They steal from McNeil, the real deal, Bill McNeil, who is kind of a jerk and hires assassins to burn down their home. As a result, they are split up. The Avatar's childhood sequence ends. He has a chance of meeting with the lovely Princess Nina. Helps to rescue her from the bandits who are the same ones who burned down his house. And then they wander around separated by plot weirdness from getting back to Windia safely. Well, basically, no, they can get back to Windia, but she decides she wants to help him find Tipo and Ray. So they go off, they have adventures. This is where it gets a little hazier with me. They meet Momo. They meet Pico, who is a plant from this kind of weird laboratory that makes plants from Chrism energy, and that's bad for some reason. They run into some various adventures, including the fact that Balio and Sunder want to like kill them and are evil. But eventually Gar wins the World Championship Fighter Tournament and takes Avatar and their lives as his prize. Gar turns out to be a good guy despite apparently being kind of intimidating at first. And he helps them kill Balio and Sunder. But then he gets this idea in his head that he wants to meet God. And for the rest of the story, everyone just kind of follows him. There's some big notion that it's because of finding out the true secret behind Avatar and his brood power, but because the Avatar never talks, it's always hard for me to buy into the idea that all these people are so devoted to him. For some reason, I didn't have that issue with Breath of Fire 2, maybe because I was younger when I played it, but in this game, I don't know. But the rest of the game is pretty much that people wander around, they're trying to find a way. Well, first of all, they want to go into this temple place at the Urkon's character land. And they do, that's where Gar and the Avatar do battle, and we find out the truth that Gar is part of a race of Guardians who helped wipe out the Brood, and he feels really bad about it. So he ends up helping out, the childhood part for the Avatar didn't end with Balio and Sunder. The childhood part ends because Avatar apparently defeats Gar in battle, but spares his life, and somehow ends up frozen in Chrism again, in a mine. So Gar finds him, gets him out, meets up with the young adult versions of, well, Nina, because everyone else looks exactly the same. And they continue their quest to get to the other side of the ocean where they believe they will find God. When they get there, instead they find a desert, they find some machine cities. They meet the dragons tell them that the goddess is kind of bad news. They go find Tipo. You will remember everything that happened more recently. Basically, the goddess Miria decided to wipe out the dragons because she thought they were dangerous, but... Oh, and here's the thing I never understood. What was the deal with Pico Yggdrasil, whatever? Some kind of ancient force that survived and continued to fight the goddess Miria. But, I mean, if that fast... I've probably left out minor things here and there, like, you know, they defeated the Mafia boss guy, and they did this, that, and the other, but... Yeah, basically, from fairly early on, the whole plot is they want to go meet this goddess, or god, and then they find out it's a goddess, and you have all sorts of stuff that just felt like stalling, like, you know, the sushi gathering quest. And when they finally do meet the god, it's just like, I never really was clear on why did Miria, like, okay, if it was the Miria from the first game who was just flat out evil, that's fine. She had this thing where she just loved to see chaos and war. This one appeared to really want the best for the world, and she was just kind of this overprotective mother, which is in theory a theme that the game had raised with Nina and her moms, although they didn't really do a whole lot with that. I would not, by the way, have given this its own video if I knew it was going to be 10 minutes long, the ending. What else? Yeah, so Miria's thing is she wants to protect the world, and she thinks the dragons are dangerous, and she thinks if people are allowed to develop technology, they'll develop weapons and wipe themselves out, although she didn't seem to be doing anything to stop technological development back on... I don't know, I mean, there's all sorts of weird shit going on with people using chrism energy and mutating plants and shit on the part of the world that is apparently where life is still supposed to thrive. I don't know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just didn't quite make sense, but there was it's a very nice, attractive art style if you're into the anime thing. I mean, the character designs were all fairly pleasant. Young adult Nina was cute, but Princess Nina, like little girl Nina, was like the most adorable character ever. And yeah, I even like Momo, although I never quite figured out what was going on with those ears / eyebrows. It was a fun game. I feel like I probably would have enjoyed it. I don't know. The experience of playing this simultaneously with Final Fantasy XIII for LP purposes, in a way it has prevented me from seeing this game straight, because I'm comparing it, for better or for worse, with another game all along, rather than letting it just kind of be an LP on its own merits. This is only in my mind. I don't think I did that out loud too often. But as we played through Final Fantasy XIII, which, like, for the probably up until the point where you... In that... Spoilers for that game, I guess, if you're watching it next. Up until the point where you actually meet Bartandalus in battle. And even for a while after that, it's just this non-stop... run, guards right behind us. Like, constant pressure. The story is trying to maintain this constant pressure. This game was like the... Even by the Breath of Fire standard... Well, Breath of Fire 2 is just a game that felt really relaxed sometimes, and other times there's a lot of really dark stuff going on. The first Breath of Fire game, I guess, where you start out in the destroyed town, always had this feeling for me that, like, the bad guys are right on your heels when I played as a kid. Breath of Fire 2, not as much, even though when you find out who the bad guys are, they're really nasty. But that's a game where you spend the first chunk of the game just doing quests for this guild and having fun. But Breath of Fire 3, I mean, this... You want to talk about a game where you just really felt like you were just chilling out, hanging around. I mean, the whole Fairy Village minigame, I didn't do very much with all the items you got, but I built up that Fairy Village, and that... I feel like if it weren't for the fact that I could use frame skip to grind quickly, this would have been a really frustrating game as far as just having a feel that you were just putting tons of time into it. I mean, you know, you have to go off and fight a certain number of battles. Forget about plot. You have to fight a certain number of battles before the Fairy Village will progress. So it's just something where if you really got nothing else to do, you can pour so much time into the game like this. I don't know. I'm sounding really negative now, but it was fun. It was a really nice world. It was a very nice, fun set of characters. I mean, just much less, just not a lot of emotional baggage and everyone being all serious and moody like some of the Final Fantasy games have gotten to be. And it, you know, that goes hand in hand with having like the cute little super deformed animal characters, I suppose. Does this screen go anywhere? Thank you for playing Breath of Fire 3. You can save your game here and try to fight the goddess again. Do you want to save? Sure. Is this like a new game plus or something? I don't really know what this is going to do. It might give me a new game plus of some kind. Let's see what this will actually do. I'm curious. I'm not in a huge hurry after all. I don't know why Nina popped up in my party there. Well, what happens if I actually try to choose that save slot to load from? Yep, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't really prepare. Oh, it's a clear. So they do have a clear game save slot. Interesting. So I didn't really, you know, I'd been thinking in the back of my mind recently about what I'd say at the end, but I didn't really plan anything. And now it's just like, I don't know. It was nice. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I liked the Breath of Fire series, but I don't know. Story-wise, it just there was no real threat. There was just kind of a very vague, bumbling along story, which is, if I didn't like the characters, or if the characters were flat and personality free, which by and large they were not, other than the nameless, you know, other than the non-speaking protagonist, yeah, you didn't have a lot of characters who were totally flat, especially by the standards of the pre-voice acted games. A story this vague and like just sort of bumble along from quest to quest and don't worry too much about where it's all going in the end would be really frustrating if the characters weren't fun. But the characters were kind of fun and nice, so it just made it was a pleasant little game, put it that way. It seems like it would be a good game for kids, or I don't want to sound sexist when I say this, but for girls. Girls tend to like games that are just kind of a little bit lighter in tone. And I enjoyed it too. Why not? So what happens if we pick up from here? Where is our party actually at? Oh, we end up all the way back out here. I wonder... Well met, Avatar, my child, our hope. Is there anyone else who seeks my aid? Nah. If you no longer need my power, nah. So I'm not sure exactly where we are in the story here. Did the elder tell you of our tragic history? I don't have time. I need to get to bed. Alright, folks. Well, this video is a little on the short side because the ending was just much shorter than I expected. And that's part of it, too. I mean, for a game this long, that was really an unexpectedly short ending. But it speaks towards the fact that there really never was much of a story. I don't know. I have very split feelings on this game. But I'll tell you, in a strange sort of way, the conclusion to 7th Saga was more satisfying than this in one day. It had this like really weird twist ending. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's late and I'm tired and cranky. I just compared this game unfavorably to 7th Saga. I do wonder what I would have thought of the game if I hadn't played it against Final Fantasy XIII, like those two simultaneously trading back. I probably wouldn't. It wouldn't have taken me nearly as long to beat the game because I wouldn't have been splitting my time between the two RPGs. And I think it would have felt like a really kind of fun but inconsequential game. I think that's ultimately what you can say, folks. This game was fun, but compared to earlier Breath of Fire games, as poorly as they were translated, the story just didn't really have a lot of heft to it. Although I did like the character of Gar. I like the characters of Momo and Ray too. As far as things that weren't in previous games, I don't know. I'm just blathering on at this point. So I think I need to get away from Breath of Fire for a while before I play the next one, because I have picked up this vague sense from the internet that the Breath of Fire fanboys and girls out there, some of them hold this game in really high regard, others hold the previous games in high regard, but apparently the fans start turning on the Breath of Fire series after this. So if this game I found to have some real problems, who knows what I'll make of the next Breath of Fire game. But I'm definitely willing to give it a shot. I am the Mysterious JG. I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. I will say that in my childhood, the Breath of Fire series consisted of 2 games. Now I know that the story went farther, and I don't feel like they let the previous games down. Although, really, best RPG ending from the SNES era ever is still the sad Breath of Fire 2 ending. But this game, hey, you know, we got a nice picture of Nina having like a ludicrously short skirt at the end. That was clearly worth the price of admission, right? Catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.